We are Joystick Jabber. I am Ryan, aka Slice by Gaming. This is Nick, aka FLCLAFI. This section of our podcast, we're going to go specifically into the new changes and what's been talked about in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's some pretty big news that came out from their like community developer talk that they had. So they live streamed like a community discussion type thing, and they just went over a lot of different things. And so typically we would add this into our podcast, Joystick Jabber, but instead we are today going to be splitting it up into its own specific section. So yeah,
pretty big list of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, they talked about a ton of different things and a lot of new content, as well as the balances and fixes that they're going to be implementing. And really, like, from what it sounds like, the balances are mostly on the family side.
Yeah.
But we're going to start off with just kind of the new content that they talked about in the live stream, with the big ones being some a new map and some new family members. So the new map that they brought up is called The Mill. We took a look at what it looked like. They dropped a picture in their Discord. Here we go. So here is The Mill. Apparently this is like mostly a vertical map.
Yep. That's what they said. They want it the way they made it sound is it's kind of like the same size as Slaughterhouse, but because Slaughterhouse is a big open area, I guess it's more horizontal. This is going to be kind of the similar size, but this time just all vertical. So it's I think they said it's 4 stories.
Jeez.
I don't know if that includes the basement, or if it's like the basement and then 4 stories, or if it's the basement and then 3 other stories after that. But yeah, it's
yeah, I can't really tell if it has a basement.
Well,
really.
we moved down. It looks like this section down here might be underneath the main mill. But
maybe it almost looks like a. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Oh, maybe. I think you might be right. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting map. I don't know where they're drawing this from, because I don't remember a giant mill like this in any of the movies. Well, no. I don't know if... Probably not the second one. The second one, they had like an underground tunnel system, but did have some like big place on the top of it, but I thought it was like some abandoned theme park or something like that.
I mean, even the exterior area looks like it's going to be pretty massive.
It looks like
honestly.
It came out of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Yeah,
So,
I mean, even the the exterior area, like not inside the mill. I'd love to see like what it actually looks like inside of it, but the outside looks like there's going to be tons of space.
Yeah,
too.
it's going to be an interesting map.
Yeah, for sure. We're discussing before this, like the upstairs area, like what is going to be up there.
Yeah.
No doubt there's going to be a fuse up there.
Most likely, yeah.
Go all the way up here. It's going to be trapped to the high hells.
Yeah, I feel like if they have 2 narrow staircases, trapped characters are still going to pretty much lock it down like Family House. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Family House also, besides the outside, is kind of vertical as well. It's kind of just like straight up from the basement.
Pretty much, yeah.
The floors don't really have much space. But once you get outside, it's really open. But yeah, this might be like a bigger Family House.
Is Slaughterhouse the biggest? I feel like Nancy's is the biggest. Because it has that whole vertical, like...
Maybe. They might be close in size, but I feel like Slaughterhouse might just... Because if you think about, like, you have to go through the entire generator building to get to the generator, and you have to go through the entire slaughterhouse to get to the battery. Yeah. Like, Nancy's house, the areas in which you actually escape, like, to get out to, they're actually, like, smaller. Like, once you get past the battery gate, it's just that, like, strip where the car battery is. And then in front of Nancy's house, it's just that little garden area.
I always forget in Slaughterhouse, like, how difficult it is for family to really navigate through the slaughterhouse, like, through that, like, maze in the slaughterhouse area.
Well, there's a lot of gaps there, too.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean... So this is I'm excited to see when this is coming out. And then the other other one that they mentioned here.
I think they mentioned that the new content, like the map and the new family and victim, I think they said that probably within 90 days. So it's going to be a while.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was saying in the post as well. And there's some new family members and victims. They haven't gone into detail on what those.
Yeah, there's no like hint of what they even look like or who they're. The only thing I think they did say was that the new family member is also going to be someone with traps.
So. Nancy Hitchhiker and whoever this new person's going to be.
Well, then I mean, I would kind of categorize Cook's padlocks as like a trap type character because that traps you in.
Yeah. True, so. And especially if he has the
like security pins or whatever,
that perk.
Yeah.
The other thing is the victim that has been confirmed, and just like the devs and all the family want, it's gonna be just the victim with no arms or legs that's just gonna lay there and wait to die.
Yeah.
So no,
might as well be.
No, there's no info on the family member or the victim, but yeah, the victims are getting, from what it sounds like, severely screwed.
Yeah, they're getting a pretty big nerf this time.
Another one which is going to be a good addition is going to be the museum game mode.
Yeah, but the way they went into more details on that, it doesn't sound like you can explore a map. It sounds like it's going to be more like the virtual cabin from Friday the 13th, where it literally is like, it's like a pre-built place that showcases stuff that is just related to Texas Chainsaw. Okay. So
that's kind of what we like.
That was like the original thought, but then there was like that thing that hinted that maybe you could just pick a map and explore it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be what it's going to be.
I still think that their idea Gunn's idea in Friday the 13th of having there be AI was a really, really good idea. And me and you have talked about this in the past in some of like my live streams when we're doing Texas Chainsaw together, and like they need a way for new players to get acclimated to how the game is played and be able to play it without jumping into a lobby and getting instant killed in the first like 10 seconds of the match.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is we're hoping that was going to be the museum mode, but I guess that's not the case. But they really, because that's their biggest thing right now, is the fact that they don't have anything to keep new players there.
No, but I mean, even with Friday the 13th, you didn't need the AI mode. You could actually just, if you just went into private match, you can launch a game by yourself as Jason. So you can still explore the maps even just without anybody around, even without AI.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get a feel for how the game works as Jason with the AI. They didn't have a mode where you could play counselor against an AI Jason.
Yeah.
But
and I know that they have some data like around decisions and things that players make in the game. I don't know how in depth it is, as if like they can simulate actual players playing the game with AI.
Probably not.
I
don't think they have the tools for that, because I mean, even Friday the 13th, the AI was pretty stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, some way for the players to like understand this is.
Well, Evil Dead the game, they made you play through the Survivor and the like Deadite, whatever the specific names were. They made you play through a match against like preset conditions first before they let you play online, and it just showed you the basics of what you're supposed to be doing,
which is nice.
No, it got everything across.
Well, that's the thing though too, is that that's also kind of different because of the fact that Evil Dead is a very like way slower pace than Texas Chainsaw. Yeah,
but they could still come up with a thing where like they just start you in a room tied up, and then the tutorial's like, okay, break free from your binds.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like they just explain like this is loud if you fill it up and this is not. And then when you break free, just have one door in front of you that's locked and an unlock toolbox right there. And they're like, in order to unlock a door, you get the unlock tool and you open the door and then you escape. And then it like leads upstairs and like there's like this many different types of escapes, and then it just tells you to choose one, and then it shows you how it works. Like they just need something like that, like just a pre-placed, pre-made thing.
I agree. Well,
explains
that's the
the
thing,
basics.
is something like that would be far more helpful in a game like this than it would be in Evil Dead. That's what I was trying to
Evil
say.
Dead the game is pretty straightforward.
Like it's slower paced, so that you can at least figure out, like, okay, there's boxes where you get like
and you get like bigger maps. It's not you're not always getting jumped from the start. It happens actually sometimes still, but not nearly as often.
But that's that I think is going to be the main thing, and that's something that they had brought up earlier. Either I think it was earlier this month or like end of the year last year, where they were saying that their plans currently are only to support the game until August.
Yeah, they said that if people are still playing, they'd go further than that.
Yeah.
Basically meaning that they probably don't really have anything planned past August.
Yeah.
They'll just see what happens.
And when they say if people are still playing, does that mean like if their user base is growing or like staying the same? Like to me that sounds like staying the same, but that might mean something completely different to them.
Yeah.
Gun media entirely. So we enjoy this game. There's things that we don't like that we think like can improve it, and especially on the player retention side. That's the whole thing for us, is that we want more players to be playing the game. Like if they're able to add ways to keep and like bring new players in, I think that this game is fantastic. Like we I don't even know how many hours we have into it at this point.
I know I have over 100. I mean, I'm level 81 now, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing, is they're increasing the level cap too.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know if they're doing that in the next patch exactly yet, but it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the museum game mode. Glad that we finally have some more information on that one.
Yeah.
Next one, everyone wanted it. Shirtless Johnny.
I mean, the one good thing about it is it's going to be free, so you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, and we kind of got believe that this started out as like a mod.
It did, yeah.
It like started out as a PC mod, and then everyone loved it, but I think it got taken.
Yeah, they made a change to the game that like it did, like kind of. I mean, I think you can still mod it to some extent, but it's just the way they changed it to try to prevent cheating. It kind of messed up how easy it was to mod it. So now they're just making it an official outfit.
Johnny, and then everyone flew into an uproar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's, I guess, I think this is like the first look at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think they've actually shown their version of the Shirtless Johnny.
And the fact that it's going to be free, there's every Johnny's going to be using this.
And then a pantsless Sissy will get into.
She doesn't even wear pants anyways.
Oh yeah, that's true. God, you got me there. No, the other one is actually a Sissy skin, but it's Bride Sissy.
Yeah, which they don't have a picture of.
Yeah, there's no picture of that one.
She's also, the Bride Sissy is also supposed to be free.
Yeah, same with the Shirtless Johnny. That's gonna be free as well. They also discussed having some new skins for all family members and victims. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed still on that banana hammock cook.
Well, I'm also hoping that with that idea in mind, that they're gonna maybe hopefully implement their way to, like, because they did say that they want to add more rewards to the level cap, but they also said that they wanted like the in-game currency that you earn from playing to buy cosmetics with that. They didn't say anything about monetizing the currency.
Yeah, but
I'm hoping that if they do new skins, that happens after they implement that reward system, so that they're not like $20 packs.
Yeah. So that was another thing, is that this was in their like other section of their patch notes, I guess, but they discussed like they want to make a way for players to like earn stuff in game, but they're not doing a battle pass. Yeah,
which the way they originally discussed that reward system, they did say something like a battle pass type of thing, but now they reiterated that it's not going to be a battle pass.
Yeah, so it's going to be like, from what it sounds like, just level up rewards as you level your.
Yeah,
and that's another thing too. I don't know if it's actually discussed in the like new content section, but they're planning on upping the level cap.
Yeah.
And so that will probably fall into that. It'll probably be anything after level 100 because.
Well, yeah, because they
or
can't
they're
add
make
it
retroactive.
They could do that, but I feel like it'd be 99 like after 99 because they did something. I don't know. I thought the original level cap in Friday the 13th was 101, and then they made it 151. Because remember they added the ability to swap out any weapon with Jason instead of the one he started with.
Yeah.
But that was added later. But they increased the level cap to unlock the ability to do that. So I think it's going to be a similar situation.
I forget what one was the best weapon. Was it like the?
It was anything
pitchfork?
It was either the spear for part 6 Jason or the pitchfork for Savini Jason, just because of the reach.
Yeah, that's
and
what
the pitchfork for I think part 2 Jason had the pitchfork.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, so that's.
Oh no, he had a pickaxe.
Oh, it was the okay?
Yeah,
pickaxe.
The pitchfork was the Savini Jason.
Okay.
It was like the demonic one, but the spear acted the same way.
Yeah, it was anything that was like long.
Yeah.
So yeah, the new skins for family members and victims, they didn't, like I said, they didn't go into detail, and it should be noted that these also were not said that they're going to be free.
No, those ones specifically, probably not. Like I said, you either they're either going to do the in-game currency before this, or they're just going to have more skin packs that they're going to charge for before they do it. It's anyone's guess, I guess. But I mean, family needs more skins because all they really have is their default and then the bloody except for Leatherface.
Dude, I'm telling you, I want Speedo Cook.
I know. You want Speedo Cook and Banana Hammock Cook.
Both.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they could easily do the plaid suit Cook from Texas Chainsaw 2.
Would they be able to though?
I mean, they can just give him a plaid suit. It doesn't. It's not like the movie has like a license for plaid suits.
They're trying to stay away from anything that's gonna like even remotely resemble any sort of a license issue. Because then they're like, no, we all have PTSD from last time.
I mean, it could be part of it actually.
Additionally, they're talking about some new executions.
Yeah, which those are supposed to be packs as well, though.
I wonder like. I'm curious if there is like if anyone's actually done like a speed breakdown of the executions, because I think for players who are more interested in the just showing off type of thing, they're gonna go for like probably the most brutal ones. But players who are interested,
I choose the faster one.
Yeah, you choose the faster one.
Except for Hitchhiker, where he like collects the ear. But the Leatherface one, I just choose the one where he just stabs him and then pulls the chainsaw and then it's done.
I'm curious on that now. I'm curious if anyone's actually done a speed breakdown of the executions to see which is the fastest.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the other ones would come close. Leatherface just has a clear faster one, but a lot of the other ones they seem like they clock out almost at the same speed. Leatherface, I mean, Hitchhiker does have a quicker one, definitely though.
Yeah.
But yeah. They did mention, this was in like another thing where they were just talking about future changes before this one. They did mention that they were also going to look into a way of letting you equip multiple executions. So it would just cycle through them that you have selected.
That's what I would like.
Yeah, but this time they didn't mention it. So I don't know if that's still in the plans or not. Maybe when they do more executions that they will look at that.
This is actually the first that I've heard of this beside like some speculation or like the possibility of what they can do with Leatherface, but the possibility to personalize weapons, I hadn't seen them say anything about that before.
Yeah, I wonder what that means. I wonder if that means
like skin, like weapon skins,
because you can personalize Leatherface's chainsaw already.
Yeah, it could be.
The one thing they didn't do yet that they said that they wanted to do was allow all the other Leatherfaces to use the Nicotero chainsaw.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But maybe that's what they mean. Maybe you'll just be able to like swap out for things that they're technically the same weapon, they just have a different appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever a name brand broom is for.
Yeah. Well, they could give them like a baton; it would act the same way. But I wouldn't imagine that they would let you just pick like Johnny running around with a chainsaw.
He doesn't have to rev.
Yeah.
That'd be wild. What does Nancy use again?
Like a little hammer. It's like a claw hammer. It's like a hammer with like a spike thing. It's like a makeshift custom weapon.
Dude, that's from her secret room.
It could be.
Okay, so that's pretty much all of the new content that I guess was covered in their community check-in is what they called it. The next big thing was there was quite a lot of fixes. We're not going to cover all of the fixes in like that are planned. Apparently they have like over 150 fixes in the works. At least 149 of those are on against the victim side.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, from what they said, it's 150 fixes, which I think is probably one of the bigger ones that they've had since the last update, at least.
Yeah, their last update they said some huge number as well, but they only ever highlight certain ones.
Because the Danny and Nancy update came with like a shit ton of fixes, didn't it?
Yeah, but all I noticed were bugs.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, they fixed that though. No, that's a feature.
They never even said that they fixed that like ladder climbing glitch
where you just climb into infinity.
Yeah, I don't know if they fixed that or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, they did have a patch, remember, because there was also that hiding spot invincibility bug.
Oh yeah.
So I think they might have tackled both of those issues in that patch.
Well, we never get Nancy said. So it's either
it's either Family House or Family House Dawn or Family House Night,
or it's another map
night
and we're family.
Actually, I don't think.
That's the only other time that we play another map is if we're family. They love their Family House. Here's the first in their list is that the blood trails will be improved. They'll be thicker on all platforms. So they went into detail on that. You were saying earlier.
Yeah, there was like this one of the posts from the developers on, I don't know if it was like a Discord comment that someone highlighted, but the way it was worded didn't make sense because it said, because someone asked if they could clarify what that meant, which it's pretty straightforward to begin with, but the response to it was the blood trails will be thicker on like overall, but not as thick as they were on consoles, which doesn't make sense because that would mean that they're thicker than on consoles if they were more thick overall.
Yeah.
So the way it's worded didn't make sense, but luckily they decided not to quote
want it
that
more
one.
thick and we want it less thick.
Yeah. It's not going to be as thick as it was on consoles. It's just going to be a little bit thicker on all platforms.
Yeah. Okay. What don't you get about that?
It's like, what? That just means it's going to be thicker.
Don't question the development team.
Yeah, it's like they're taking a lot longer to say that it's just going to be thicker.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense the way they worded it.
I mean, at least this clarifies it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just going to be thicker. That's all they needed to say.
Yeah.
And who asked the question? That's all it means.
Yeah. The next is that Bomb Squad perk will be nerfed to where only one trap can be disabled at level 1. At level 2, 2 traps can be disabled. And then at level 3, 3 traps can be disabled.
No. That's a huge nerf for people unfamiliar, because normally Bomb Squad just increases the speed at which you disable traps, and you don't have to use a bone shard.
That's at level 3, right?
Well, it gets
level 1.
faster as you upgrade it.
Yeah, level 1 you start with that as like, so you at level 1 you can just disable it without having a bone shard.
Yeah,
which is really nice, obviously, because of the fact that Hitchhiker can constantly put his traps back. So
yeah, and he can move them wherever he wants afterwards too, and same with Nancy.
Yeah, not having a bone shard is actually pretty nice for when you're on something like Family House, and traps are a pretty big part of that game plan. And yeah, Bomb Squad was one that I feel like a lot of people used.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, because not everybody has Bomb Squad, but the characters that did, every time there was like a hitchhiker in the game, you would just want to equip that just in case.
Well, I'm pretty sure Danny did not have Bomb Squad.
He doesn't. He does not have Bomb Squad.
And so like that's a huge thing. Like if he was a character that had Bomb Squad, then yeah, that's a big deal.
Benefit.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah,
but
well,
you have to literally
at this point, technically now no one has Bomb Squad.
Yeah,
like it might not even be worth having that perk equipped anymore. Then, like I said before, I can already see that they're gonna overlook this because it comes with the speed increase as well. I guarantee when you run out of the charges, you'll lose the speed increase as well. So you'll have to get the bone shard, and then you'll still disarm them at default speed. So it's like the whole utility of the perk, even its like second passive thing, also is limited to charges, which yeah, the perk's basically, it's not useless, I guess, but they're trying to do it to prevent rushing, but all it does is increase the chances of rushing because you only have 3 chances to disarm the trap, and you have to use that carefully to get out. So you're just going to want to rush a specific exit right away so that you don't have to come back with a bone shard to disarm the traps you just used your charges on. Because
exactly.
The family they have an infinite amount of traps technically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing that makes it even worse is you don't have an infinite amount of bone shards.
Yeah, that's it too. Yeah, because so, they disabled that a while ago.
Yeah, so the overall change doesn't make sense. I actually didn't even see that. I've seen some complaints for Bomb Squad because it was like, well, why am I setting traps if they can just disable them? But it's like, well, you can just keep resetting it. And you can see the highlight of your trap in Family Focus.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know if it's disarmed even if you don't hear someone step on it or they disarm it manually.
And so to preface this, we're probably going to come off as like, oh, you guys are just victim players, but no, we play both sides. And
when I don't play with you and I play by myself, I search victim. I don't search quick match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it just usually, whenever you solo queue, it seems to just throw you in family all the time.
Yeah.
So I just do victim because I just want to keep up with victim playing so that I can still like keep up with like what people are doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing is that we play both sides. Like I know there's a lot of people who will just play family or just play victim, but we play it from both sides. So we personally think that family is very overpowered. Clearly.
Well, that's because in majority of our matches that we play, I would say out of all of our matches, more than 80% of them, we just clean sweep victims. We kill everybody.
Oh yeah, when we play as family.
Yeah, like it's rare that they all escape. It happens, obviously, because it's gonna happen. But most of the time, if we don't kill all of them as family, one person gets out.
Yeah, and I don't know what the vision for the devs is, if they just want to make it very like heavily family sided to where no one, like, it's not even fun to play victim.
I think that is the plan because, like I said, community wise, they don't have as many people jumping into family as they do as victims. So I think they're trying to push more people to play family right now to drive up the numbers. So they're just making it harder for victims.
I don't know. So like to me, I think that's going to cause issues down the line.
It probably will. Like I said, but when they discuss that, we'll go into this a little further, but some of the changes that they're thinking about for family would kind of counter the nerfs they're doing to victim right now. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to push people to play as family right now, and then they'll later, that's why they plan on later nerfing the family, so that when it kind of drives up those numbers, then they'll make the changes to make it a little bit more balanced.
Yeah,
but it's just not a good game plan to begin with, though.
Yeah, later on we can get into like more of our thoughts.
Yeah,
and like what we think they should be doing instead, or what we think would work.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But so that's pretty much the Bomb Squad. We got a little bit into kind of what our thoughts on that. But also, like, the next one is that Leatherface's chainsaw will require less time in order to be turned on. In addition, Leatherface will be faster while destroying doors and obstacles.
Yeah, I don't think the faster destruction is necessary. I feel like it buys you just enough time to get away if you don't have any like wall crawl spaces, which usually you do. But if you don't, you usually can get a decent enough, because Leatherface can catch up to you really quickly.
No, yeah.
So I don't know if him destroying stuff faster is really necessary. I didn't see any.
And there's specific builds for Leatherface to be faster.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't see anybody complaining about obstacle destruction. That it was too slow or something like that.
No, I'm kind of surprised, because this felt like something that just didn't even need to be.
Yeah, it felt normal
to be touched.
I know that there was like people like that would, like, when you're cutting down a door, they'd stab you with a bone shard and you'd have to like go back into the animation, but it wouldn't play out the whole animation. It would just start where it left off, kind of. But the faster chainsaw thing, they actually did talk about the when you have the instant start. You know how when you do it, you just have to do the one press when it does it. It just skips that. It just instant starts.
Oh.
Which
That'll be
makes sense.
interesting.
But that does make sense. When I originally read the perk before I had it, I thought that's what it did. So when I saw the mini game pop back up, I was like, "Oh, you still have to do the mini game." I thought he just started the chainsaw.
Yeah.
So they did say that they're gonna change that to where if you have that perk, he just starts the chainsaw, which does make more sense.
I feel like it's gonna make Leatherface significantly strong. Like it's essentially a buff to Leatherface. Like it's gonna make him stronger in the fact that like when he does burn his chainsaw out or something like that, it's not gonna be.
Well, there's
as
still the
big of
cooldown that you have to
an
wait
issue.
when it burns out. You have to like wait for the meter.
Yeah. Well, I think is that what they mean when they say it'll require less time in order to be turned on?
Maybe, yeah, after it burns out, but you'd still have to wait somewhat, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. There
Maybe that
should be some more details around that.
they might be doing that temporarily until they figure out the stall bug. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so a lot of these, from what we've seen, are very family-sided.
Yeah.
Changes.
Usually
that they're
families
planning
just
on
getting
implementing.
buffs.
On to the next one. Apparently in the next patch, if a family member interferes during a close encounter with a victim, the victim will sustain serious injuries but won't die immediately unless their health is low already. So this one is actually, I mean, I know that we were saying that these are mostly family-sided, but this one is actually a victim-sided patch, I think.
Yeah, with smoke and mirrors, I think. I think it's more of just to appease the people who didn't like the instant kill, which there was a pretty decent debate about that, because it's like, well, I mean, if you're gonna like, because people can like constantly get you in like a loop of stuns, like if Leland runs to a bone shard and then runs back to you and does the thing. So if like someone was there, they would die. So there's people who are okay with it being like high risk, I guess high reward. It's not like they're stunned for a super long time without certain perks. But
that's the thing, is like, to me, the whole struggle thing was always like high risk, mid to low reward, because
yeah, the problem came in though. This is where the debate starts, because it's not the fact that you get instant killed. It's the fact that when you win the struggle, you're still stuck in the animation for like 2 to 3 seconds. So even if you win, you're stuck there, and then you'll instantly die. Because most of the time when you die during a close struggle, it's after you've won it.
Yeah,
which it makes sense if you're triggering it and there's another family member there, then you're screwed. But if you're punching them in the face and Leland's just staring at them while they're like,
yeah,
and then you can't move until a little bit, that's what people wanted. People just wanted it to where you either had more immunity frames after you stun them, or the animation just immediately ends when you stun them and you can start moving.
Yeah, to me,
but they didn't do that. They just made it to where you take damage now.
I had always thought that this had to be changed because of the fact that, number one, they've now limited bone shards. So if you're going to use a bone shard specifically to do a struggle, which is really going to stop them for apparently like 1 second, especially when it's like a hitchhiker with a speed build or something like that, and he's going to catch up to you instantly. Like, to me, I've always thought that this whole thing had to be buffed.
Yeah, I figured that they would have eventually changed the thing where winning you'd be able to just start moving, but they decided to just keep it the same. But now you, instead of dying instantly, you take damage. But like I said, I think it's more of like just to appease people, because if a family member is close enough when the close encounter is triggered to start hitting you, you're not surviving.
No, you're not going to survive. No. Especially, I mean, even during those same frames after you've won, if a Leatherface just comes charging in with a full charge, you're dead. Yeah, especially if you're Connie.
The only thing it would do is it would actually, this is where it still slightly benefits victims. It would make that family member who's helping take a little bit more time instead of just. But I mean, because they would have to strike you and then go into the kill animation. So it would just buy people a little bit more time. But it's usually, if like I said, if they're close enough, you're killing yourself with the close encounter regardless.
Well, that's the thing too, is that if you do manage to survive, or you have something like the no cell perk where you're taking multiple hits, you can potentially take a couple of hits if it's full, get through that encounter, hopefully, if you have like enough toughness on a character. I'm curious on how that would work with Anna, if you're able to activate abilities during the close encounter.
Yeah, I would imagine you probably could. They probably don't have like a thing that deactivates button prompts during it or something like that. That's probably something they would have overlooked.
Abilities sometimes can be weird. It's like, for instance, as Leland, like if you stun a character with a bone shard, you can't use your ability on them again for like another 10 seconds or something because it counts as another stun, which I personally still think is kind of dumb. Like,
yeah, I mean that's a pretty long immunity too.
That's the thing is as victim players, you're very limited already with bone shards. If it was infinite bone shards, yes, I could see that. But they've limited the amount of bone shards, so you're gonna sit there and use 2 bone shards on one person. You've just taken 2 bone shards completely out on just this one encounter with a family member. When you could use it for grandpa, you could use it for traps.
Yeah.
Especially now that these the traps are essentially bomb squad's going to be essentially rendered useless.
It's just weird because they're like making a shift where victims are more limited, but family has more freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's, I don't know what their plan is.
I guess it does make sense concept wise. Like you're on the family's turf, the family like controls the playing field, but like.
As for a game, though,
yeah, it's like a game. It's a little bit harder to apply that.
It's like they're trying to. Yeah, we can go into it a little bit later, but yeah, it just seems like they're trying to conceptualize something that like it should be fun for both sides. I don't want to feel like I'm actually in a horror movie and I can't escape serial killers.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to feel like they're in a horror movie, but they want to at least feel like they have a chance.
Because being in a horror movie is fun. So next, the noise ping caused by doors when slamming closed will be reduced in the future. So I'm assuming that that's just like how long it follows you.
Yeah, which it does kind of follow you for a little bit too long. Like I feel like the door slam notification is enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's like you know exactly where they were.
Yeah.
But the ping does follow you for like a few feet, like at least 10 feet.
Yeah.
Which is a little aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I don't know. I never really...
It was what it was, but I mean, that's fine. Like it's a good change.
Yeah.
If you're running away, you have a better chance of breaking free from like an aggressive hitchhiker or something like that.
Yeah, to me, I mean, it was never really that big of a deal. Like I liked when they actually added the fact of the noise following the victim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of situations, there could be like a dozen different directions the victim could have ran that you have no clue. But yeah, I mean that is what it is, I guess. The next one just says that the team is currently working on offering new rewards for the higher levels. I don't know why this is in bug.
Yeah.
Why this is in there bug fixes and balances.
Maybe a balance. I guess it could be considered a balance change. I don't know.
Because yeah, from what you were saying, once you get to a high enough level, you're not even going to be like your points that you use aren't even going to be.
Yeah, it's weird because you hit 99 and you're done, but I've seen other people at 99 and they have like 300 plus attribute like points to spend.
Holy cow.
But that's either like they respect somebody or the game just gives you such a high number of points that you're set for any of their future characters. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, it could be like respects or something. I mean, I'm hoping that it would. So it sounds like at least you'll have enough for like if the new characters come out, if you wanted to level them up or something like that.
Yeah. But that's always fine. That's always a good change.
Yeah. Next one is that there could be new times of day on maps that are yet missing some.
Yeah, which I thought that was a given. Like I thought we'd eventually see like a night or dawn version of Nancy's house rather than just daytime.
I was gonna say I didn't even realize. But...
Could you imagine night slaughterhouse? Because that slaughterhouse only has day. It might have a dawn one or a dusk.
That would be
night slaughterhouse would be a nightmare.
Night anything. I mean, for family side, night anything
tough.
is tough. Honestly, I mean apparently the metal door on Slaughterhouse is already running like it's on nighttime.
Yeah,
you ever see that?
Yeah, they never fixed. It's like
black.
that just all the time. They bugged the texture for it and they just didn't fix it yet. It's always hard to tell when it's opened unless you're like at a certain angle.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's already on nighttime for that.
Yeah. Maybe it's some leftover code for a nighttime slaughterhouse.
Yeah. Might get that. Yeah. So there's that. Additionally, Johnny's voice lines dedicated to Nancy are existing. They're just not working. So apparently, Johnny's supposed to talk to Nancy. I guess I never even realized that they didn't talk to each other. I don't know if I've ever actually played a match where a Johnny and a Nancy were in the same map.
I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but yeah, I usually don't pay attention when they talk to each other much because I'm usually doing something or I'm heading somewhere.
Well, from this, it sounds like they don't talk to each other.
No, but
Which
the
is
other
weird, 'cause
the
those
other
are the two characters that are like
yeah, that's like their place.
Yeah.
But the other family members talk to each other.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Cook especially to Nancy's like, you better get a hold on your boy.
So I just didn't really correlate it, I guess, because I wasn't paying attention. But
now that Johnny's not gonna have a shirt, they're gonna add his voice lines. Nancy's bloody skin might arrive in the future.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is it to apply some blood to the default outfit?
I'm wondering if that's gonna be in the same pack as like if they're just gonna lump all of those other
you would
character
think.
skins that they talked about.
I don't know how they would
pack.
separate like sell a bloody Nancy by itself.
Like $3 or something.
Yeah.
Sissy and Sunny. That's weird. Sissy and Sunny will be buffed.
Yeah.
So
it may be in the future.
Yeah, I mean, Sunny to me,
I think he's regarded as like
one of
the weakest villains just overall. I mean, our victims, yeah. Maybe he is a villain.
I'm Sunny.
Yeah. But I mean, there's people who do claim that he's got like OP builds and stuff like that, but I think that's like every victim. But there's just some that are clearly more OP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Sunny, I don't know how they would rework him. He does have good toughness and endurance, so I don't know what they're really planning on doing. Maybe, I mean, his ability's pretty decent too, to just listen to wherever everybody is.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like something to where it, I don't know, like they outline the characters or something.
I mean, he has a level 3 perk that lets him differentiate between a victim and a family member, like the sonar circles that are showing up are different colors.
Oh, that's one of his unique ones?
Yeah, it's one of his level 3 ones.
That's
so I mean, he has something like that already. I don't know what they're gonna do to maybe they'll change up his like perks or something like that, like what perks he can get.
Yeah, I'm not a big like Sunny player. I don't know what perks does he have no cell and stuff?
No, he does have choose flight though.
Oh well. Good thing. That's going to be a completely pointless perk. But I don't know. I don't think we actually even touched on that.
No,
I don't think that's in these notes. We can get into that after these ones, I guess.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever really used Sunny. I've never really used Anna or Julie either.
Anna's fine. She can be really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. She's probably more annoying. Wise, she's probably more annoying than Leland.
Yeah, I mean, and then Julie, I think for me, because I play as everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that. The reason why I'm playing as Sunny is because I'm leveling up his ability right now. I feel like for me, Julie's just a better Connie, but with a worse ability.
Yeah.
Because she's a high stealth proficiency character as well, but she's more durable than Connie is.
Her whole thing is like she can't be seen or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
but if you level up her ability, she can't be like tracked, and I don't think Cook can hear her when she's sprinting. But you also, if you level up her ability, you can reduce your stamina depletion while your ability's active, to where it's like it just like doesn't go down almost. So you kind of have like a huge stamina boost while it's active as well. But like, I mean, the tracking thing's not that big of a deal. Like usually you don't. Because they also changed it to where if you just crouch walk, Johnny can't find your footprints. So but the Cook no hearing thing could be beneficial if you need to get somewhere quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Her ability's not bad, but Connie's like instant lockpick is better for a stealth character. But like I said, Julie's overall like attributes I think are like a better version of Connie's.
Yeah, Connie was my main for a long time, but now it's she doesn't have no cell, and she is so weak that it's literally one hit from Leatherface just like takes you out. So I ended up using her just because we didn't really end up playing with many people. So
Yeah.
like I feel like you need a full squad kind of to be able to.
What do you mean? All the Connies we have on our team die instantly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then there's also in the same thing, Sissy will be buffed.
Yeah, which I don't know. That's weird because
I mean, there really aren't. The thing is, with Johnny and Sissy, here's my like assumption is that they're just looking at all of just the analytics on it instead of actually playing the game. And if you play it, yeah, you can look at the analytics or the data that you have and be like, oh, no one's playing as Sunny or Sissy. We have to buff them. Yeah. It's like that's not really the case. The only reason that they're not being played as is because the situation. It's very situational, and so in most situations, someone like Hitchhiker or Cook are going to be more versatile in terms of their abilities, where Sissy isn't. Yeah. It's just that her ability is not great in terms of being able to lock the victims down.
Yeah.
Whereas Hitchhiker or Cook are more so. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, because usually with the right Sissy, she's just as annoying as any of the other. Yeah, like as Hitchhiker, she can just be just as fast, do just as much damage. Like people always say that she has like super low damage, but Sissy usually makes quick work of people.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the only real reason is because of just like Hitchhiker or Cook are just more like versatile to me.
Well, yeah, because of their traps.
Yeah.
And like the padlocks. Like Sissy's poison.
What do you really use?
Yeah, you can poison objects to like, if someone ends up using it or grabbing it, it'll spot them for a bit. But yeah, I mean,
I really don't think that a buff to Sissy would change any metas around.
No, unless they give her something that's like completely broken.
Yeah, like poison hits.
Yeah, like poison claw.
Yeah,
like Nancy.
And same with Sunny. Like I don't think a buff to him would really change any metas unless they.
The thing is, like
someone.
I don't even when I play as Sunny, I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because like after playing as everybody, there's certain strengths and weaknesses that each of the characters have, but like you said, with everything being situational, it's like there's just certain things that you get caught doing or stuck doing or spotted. Even if I was someone else, like Leland, yeah, sure, I might be able to shoulder tackle them and live a little bit longer. But if it's like a Hitchhiker that's relentless with the right scout build, it's like you can stun him, but he's getting up and he's coming right to you again. Like it's like I'm still stuck in the same situation with each character. There's some of them might live a little bit longer but die anyways, or some of them might just die right away.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I like for me. Why I stopped playing as Connie is because of the fact that to me Leland is more versatile. Like he has the only thing that he's really lacking is the stealth aspect, but his proficiency is actually pretty good for him being more of an annoying character. Yeah. And the way that I've built him is into like more endurance side. So yeah, well endurance and I think it's toughness, right? Or is it
the blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's toughness.
Yeah. So to where he can take more hits and he can just be more annoying and more lasting.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how you build Sunny as well, because Sunny can get around the map pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's yeah, I guess that's what we'll go into on that. Then next one's Nancy's Poison Claw perk will be nerfed.
Yeah, because apparently right now it's bugged similarly to how Sissy's attack was bugged, where every time she would hit you, it would apply it. So that's how Poison Claws works for Nancy as well. It keeps stacking instead of just doing like a single hit with the effect. So they're changing it to work the way it was intended to work, where you get hit and you're poisoned for like 8 seconds and then it's over. Because like right now it's like she keeps hitting you and you're just poisoned forever. Takes forever to get away, and it gets harder and harder to move.
Yeah.
I don't know how they keep screwing that up, but
that was actually when Nancy was added. Like I enjoyed Nancy quite a bit. I think that she's probably a little overpowered, especially with this. I had a different perk, and then I ended up finding out that this perk existed.
Well, and if there's just one person left,
Yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, you can't get away from her.
It's like Julie's not gonna be able to stop that.
Yeah, because well, that's the other thing. It's like an oversight. If she has her ability active, like Nancy shouldn't even be able to see her.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't think about it at the time, so Nancy's ability just trumps that too.
Overpowers all of it. Yeah, that's also a thing, is that if they do keep adding new characters, the old characters are essentially going to become pointless, because realistically, Danny is the best choice on almost any map besides Family House.
Yeah.
Which he's still a good option because he has a pretty well-rounded like skill set, regardless of his ability. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up going. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Nancy's a pretty overpowered character. And then the last one at least on the list here, on their list, is Danny's Nerf. So, but that's all they say, is that Danny is getting a Nerf upcoming. It just has more info on the upcoming patch.
Oh, well, they actually did share more details about that. So the way it's worded, I mean, it's worded intentionally, but they're separating inspecting and tampering.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to inspect something to tamper. You can just tamper it, which, I mean, that's either going to go horribly right or horribly wrong. Because people were complaining that he was tampering things too fast with his knowledge, but now you can just tamper.
Yeah.
Even without the knowledge, which, I mean, that would allow you to, you know, how you can make the tamper minigame easier with some of the perks, but nobody uses that, because why would you with the knowledge?
Yeah.
I guess they'd make that more viable. But the other thing they're changing is, like, when you use instant inspect on an item, you can't tamper that item anymore.
When you use instant, but you can still inspect it like normally.
I don't know, because if you have the perk, it's the same button. So like that's where it's
tamper
confusing.
Or inspect.
Well, to inspect.
Oh, okay.
They're separating it now, but the way they make it sound is like when you inspect something, you can't tamper it. So you have to gain your knowledge somewhere and then bring it to whatever you want to tamper. But the thing is, though, is if you say you're going to plan on using Valve, you can just study the fuse box and then study the generator, and then without even inspecting the valve, you can just tamper it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about, like, earlier when we were saying how it's like making it more true, like it would make sense to make the family stronger because it's on their turf. Yeah. This makes no sense realistically in like a real situation.
Well, no, the stupid thing about the change is like he'll sit there and inspect the fuse box, and then he won't know how to use it.
Yeah. Oh, so
that's how this works.
Now that I know how this lamp works, I guess I'll go over there and tamper how the pressure valve.
Well, yeah, then unless he inspects the pressure valve, because then if he inspects it, he'd be like, "Oh, that lamp told me how it works, but now I forgot because I inspected it."
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the funny part. But yeah, if you look at the actual thing, you can't do anything to it.
No, it doesn't make sense. You can, yeah, I don't know if you just can't apply knowledge to it, but you can still tamper it. It doesn't make sense either way. But then the other thing they're changing is small objects like lamps and toolboxes. They will give you more knowledge than they did before, but like exit stuff like generators and stuff like that, they'll give you less knowledge. So they're trying to like even the playing field for the knowledge gain.
I mean, to me, this sounds like a pretty big buff, honestly, to Danny.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, the fact that you can just tamper shit without studying it.
And the thing, like, to me, I come across, obviously you're gonna come across more lockpick boxes and like lamps, instead of standing out there in the open, sitting there inspecting the pressure valve.
I mean, in any little bit, I mean, the knowledge we did actually find that out. When you apply knowledge to something, it does go away over time. Remember when we were circling that one sissy around the pressure tank on Slaughterhouse?
Yeah.
And I kept almost getting it, and then the one time I touched it, it was all reset. So it does reset after a while, but yeah, it's either gonna make the Danny thing worse, or it's gonna make it better.
Yeah,
it's something that you're gonna have to see. And then,
I mean, I personally already don't think that Danny causes that much of a problem if you're like consistent on checking like all the stuff. But yeah, I mean,
I mean, we never have too many big issues with him. Like, sure, we have the Danny that does tamper things sometimes, but majority of the time, I'd say we usually deal with him before he does. We've had him tamper stuff, and then we still killed people that didn't make it out. But
honestly, the only character to me that I think is like game changing and makes it to where it's severely unbalanced is Leatherface. His ability to like one hit you with any like certain characters, I think that's messed up to me. But
I mean, they do counter it with him being the easiest person to escape in terms of, because like if you make it through a wall gap, he has to go all the way around, similar to Johnny, because that's how I guess that's their idea of offsetting the damage, is to make them escapable. But if you're like caught out in the open, yeah.
Well, there's even times where like if you do go through wall gaps, if it's a good Leatherface build, he'll just be right there.
Yeah, that depends on the area you're in, because sometimes they have like the wall gaps right here, the way around it's right here.
Yeah.
So you don't even want to use it. It'd be faster to just run around it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my only real thing, but for the most part, I think that the game is pretty balanced. Like it's definitely leaning onto the family side, and that's why I'm surprised that a lot of their fixes and upcoming things are leaning onto the family side to make them more powerful.
The one we didn't touch on that is being changed because for some reason it's not on that thing is the flight or choose flight skill, because now instead of having 3 charges of it at level 3 where it just fills your stamina bar up, it now you only have 1 charge. And the level determines how much stamina you get back. So level 1, you get 50% of your stamina back. Level 2, you get 75, and then level 3, you get all of it back. You get 100% of it back. The reason why people use no cell, but choose flight.
Yeah.
The reason why people use that is because they want to counter scout. From the family side, which of course this is also something that they talked about. I didn't see it on that list though, but they talked about that scout was going to be looked at later after the patch. So they're going to nerf the thing that counters scout before they nerf scout.
Yeah, to me, I don't understand why. Like, why wouldn't they just do both of them at the same time? Or
well, the other thing is though, the thing that doesn't make sense is like they have a perk on family side that can be countered by a perk on victim side. How is that unbalanced?
Yeah, I don't know.
It literally, they are both designed specifically for each other almost.
That's the thing.
And then they're going to be like, well, no, one has to overpower the other somehow.
Yeah,
but it's like, what? Yeah, what's the point?
That's the whole thing. Is that it sounds like they're not even trying to balance the game. Like it sounds like it's they're trying to make it to where family wins like 75% of the time.
Which if we were to put all of our matches together, we probably do have like over 70% chance of like a 70% win rate of constantly killing all of the victims in a match.
Yeah.
Like a clean sweep every time. We probably have like majority of our games easily are like that.
And yeah, I don't understand what, like, if they're going for like a certain ratio or what they're doing, but or they're just listening to random people complain on the internet.
It does seem that way because it's like someone will say something stupid that doesn't make sense that should never be changed, and then it'll be like in the Muerto times. It's like, wait, they're actually considering that? Yeah. And then like the one thing you'll see is majority of people being like, I can't believe they're actually thinking about doing this change. So I don't know. It's weird. It is really weird. I don't know. I feel because even when we play family, like I'm Hitchhiker usually if I'm not Leatherface, and I don't care if people have Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
Because like if I go into family focus, if I see one of my traps are disarmed from the highlight, I'll be like, oh, someone's going for that. Because like I have ways to know if my traps were disarmed even quietly.
Yeah. We can kind of get into like our own thoughts now, I think. Because we covered everything that they really had in their update there, or in their like community talk. But to me, it just seems like they're looking at their data and they're like, this is what we think it should be like, and they're just like not really. It just seems like they're not actually playing the game, because if they played the game, they'd realize like it's actually pretty good. Like it's pretty it's
Yeah.
like it's pretty balanced, and if that's not what they're trying to go for, then maybe that's not what they're trying to go for. But for me, like it is an online game, and the best way to keep it competitive and to make it to where people will want to play either side is to actually make it balanced.
Yeah, with asymmetrical games, it's not an easy battle to win though. Like there are things that sound balanced, but then when you apply them in the actual game, they might not be as balanced as they sounded. But
Yeah.
I mean, some things are just like they weren't really a problem to begin with, and I think their efforts are focused in the wrong spot. Like I said, I didn't really ever see many complaints about Bomb Squad other than people being like, why are they able to disarm my traps?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what do you mean? Like, we just have to step on them?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
'Cause like I said-
okay, so I guess we can't do anything because you get 3 traps.
Yeah, so like out of all the matches we played since the game came out, I never once was like, oh, I wish they didn't have Bomb Squad.
The only thing that I could see, if they ever did decide to be like, all right, or like if they initially implemented something like this, would be Hitchhiker gets 1 trap. It can't be disarmed, but it essentially locks out any either a way for you to get out or something like that.
Or yeah, you just have to like eat the trap basically. You just have to step on it to get rid of it.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I could
That
really
would be
see.
like a Friday the 13th situation. Remember he had traps?
Yeah.
But he couldn't like I don't think you could rearm them once someone disarmed them.
I don't think so.
Because he only had a limited number of traps depending on which Jason you picked.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you'd get those aggressive Jasons that would place like 3 traps on the fuse box.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would essentially make it to where like you just can't escape that way. You know what I mean? That's the only way that I could see it like really working, to where it's like you can't disarm it. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Bomb Squad nerf is really
necessary.
No, I think the perk was
so
fine for the most part, because like the only thing I can see from this change is that most people will just not use it. Like even with the 3 free disarms, people will probably just find a bone shard instead.
Mm-hmm. Well, to me, I just think that it doesn't make any, like it's not really gonna. What does it really change for the family members? Okay,
no, it makes it easier for them.
Things disarm, but they have to use a perk slot for it.
Yeah, like the family doesn't have to make the call to like do something about it. They can just play as they normally have been playing, but the victims have to like be more cautious. Which I do understand their logic behind it. Like, oh, the victims didn't come with resources. Like it's not like they're ready to do this. So they're in their eyes, they're like, like you shouldn't be able to just like be able to do these things so easily, because you're fighting for your life. So like, yeah, the family should be able to have some sort of like power over you, but that was just not one of the perks I think was like a necessary change to try to emulate that experience. Because like we were talking about it a little bit before this, where the devs keep trying to iterate this point that they want the game to be slower. They want the victims to rely on stealth more than just rushing. But this Bomb Squad nerf is just going to increase people who want to rush, because they have a limited number of things that they can disarm. If they blow it the first time, the game's going to severely slow down because they're going to be out of charges. So if anything, it's going to encourage them to rush faster than before.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing that doesn't make sense with the whole reliant on stealth is that the longer the match takes, the more opportunity the family has to feed Grandpa to level 5, which doesn't, if depending on who's on your team, like if you have a blood build on Cook and then they have a Sissy as well, Grandpa's going to hit level 5 very quickly. Like it's not even going to be, at most, less than 5 minutes. Grandpa's level 5.
Yeah.
So stealth is already out the window pretty early game. So if you didn't rush, you're dead.
Yeah.
So they have a game built for speed, like for rushing, but they want it to be slower and stealthy, but they're not actually making the right changes to do that. Because it's like the family have so many tools to prevent stealth, and all the tools the victims have to remain stealthy are getting nerfed.
Yeah.
So it's like they're trying to do something, but they're actively changing the game in a way that prevents what they want.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's what I think that they could change, is just make it to where you need either make it to where like victims are tougher and you need a lot more blood to be able to actually level Grandpa up, or yeah, I mean that's kind of that's how it's gonna be. Like the
there'll
players
always
are
be the
going
rush
to
meta.
because you can only survive so long. You only have so many like health. You only have so much health. You have to speed through it.
You only have so many bone shards.
Like,
now there's even less.
They think the games go fast right now, and me personally, if they think that it goes fast right now and they want to slow it down, there's not enough health. Like
No,
the thing is, you're gonna blow through the health. You're gonna blow through the bone shards.
I can't imagine the game being slower simply because of how easy it is to level Grandpa. Like that's the biggest thing. It doesn't take long to level Grandpa up, even without blood builds.
That and when you get by Grandpa, it's essentially a death sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's calling you out, and
like I said, the more they try to make it slow, if they don't change Grandpa's level 5. Like how fast it is to do it. If they don't change it, the new meta is just going to become one family member feeds Grandpa and kind of like camps him to make sure he doesn't get stabbed, to just get him to level 5 and spot all the victims.
Yeah,
that's going to be like the new meta. The more they slow down the game, unless they adjust the Grandpa thing. So, and then the other thing too that's again to our point of that is why Hitchhiker and Cook are used over Sissy. Yeah,
it's like Hitchhiker and Cook can prolong the game to where, like, even if it's like by a minute or two, because someone like Danny doesn't have the bone perk. If you're going to the fuse box, you're gonna need number 1 the fuse and something to unlock the fuse. Unfortunately, you can't have both in your inventory, so you're gonna have to drop one of them, get a bone shard, and then go and find.
Unless you have a teammate with you, but it's easier to spot 2 victims traveling together than it is to spot 1.
Exactly. Yep. So like, yeah, to me, I think that them trying to make it to where the game is slower, yeah, that's.
The other thing that ruins trying to play stealthy on the victim side is like Cook's security pins perk that makes unlocking locks slower. Yeah. At level 3, that thing is ridiculous. Like you're gonna get spotted majority of the time when you're trying to unlock a lock like that. So it's like you can't even do that stealthily because it's just they need to tone that perk down a little bit because it makes it like way too long. Especially for like low proficiency characters. If they're the last ones left, they're not getting out through a lock.
Yeah. And then, that's also that brings me to the Leatherface too. It's like they want you to play stealthy, but the speed Leatherface builds on Family House where he can just run to 3 exits within 2 seconds. It's like, okay, dude.
You can only use the side yard exit, and if Nancy's on the map, she can close that exit out.
And essentially the entirety of him having stamina is completely pointless.
Yeah, once he runs out, he's in full sprint. Yeah, and he continues to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. The other thing too that wasn't on that list is that they're still investigating the chainsaw stall bug. They said they're claiming they need more footage because they can't seem to figure it out. But all they have to do is play 1 game as Leatherface, and they'll probably have it happen 5 to 7 times in the match. So I don't know how they're struggling trying to replicate that when it's a pretty widespread issue that everybody's experiencing. Basically, what happens is when you're charging the overhead and you swing, it puts it low enough to where if you wait a little bit, it's usually fine, but then they fully stand up and start running. But if you swing, it immediately stalls, which people thought it was a stealth nerf because then they originally said they fixed the UI bug that caused the issue, which it was never a UI bug, so it wasn't even fixed. And then recently they said that they were like, it's not a stealth nerf. It's actually a bug that they're still investigating. So it wasn't supposed to be a stealth nerf. It wasn't supposed to be intentional.
I wonder if it happened when, like, I'm wondering if it happened when they did the change to the Nicotero Leatherface.
I think it did happen around that time.
Yeah, because I was trying to think. I was like
how
have they even touched Leatherface since? It's like the only thing that they've really done is make it to where he's not needed.
Yeah, but
unless you,
it's funny because more people actually did start playing Leatherface since then.
Yeah,
because I think people realize that Leatherface is pretty nice to have around.
Yeah, that's
which was always our argument. We're like, it's always not like I would much rather have a Leatherface on my team than not have one.
Yeah,
and it seemed like that quickly became like something that most people realize.
Which
like,
I mean, you can get through it without Leatherface.
I think
either.
Family House is a map where you don't need him. It helps, especially if there's a barricade on the second floor in a wrong spot. But if you have someone like Hitchhiker who can still go through gaps, you're still fine. Yeah, unless that. But we sometimes get hitchhikers that leave doors open because he comes from the front door. I've had hitchhikers leave the door wide open. They don't place any traps.
Yeah.
They attack me.
While
I'm standing right next to them.
Leatherface does look like a victim.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's I don't understand that. That's the only other thing that I can think of when they would have done that, like touched it.
So they screwed that up, but I don't know. And then the other thing too that they're still investigating is the lobby fill problem when a family member leaves and it doesn't fill that slot.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's planned for the next patch.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty big issue.
Yeah,
especially
it
with
doesn't
them
fill it until a victim leaves.
Trying to make changes to like bring more people over to family. Like
that was the other change that wasn't on that list too. They're gonna disable the lobby timer.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really know how that's gonna function.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's probably even more fixes that we haven't even covered in here. We've been talking about this for over an hour, but yeah, there's like 150 fixes planned at least. That could be among them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
if that's like if it's planned for the next patch or not.
I just don't know if the community's stable enough for a disabled lobby timer.
Yeah.
I feel like most people are just gonna try to hold the lobbies hostage. So instead of people quitting, like the back out, like the people who just lobby dodge, like that whole pandemic that's affecting the game, I feel like instead of lobby dodging, they're just going to try to hold the lobby hostage instead.
Oh, so like everyone has to be ready for the game to start?
I don't know. They didn't really elaborate because they have it right now where if I think 4 out of the 7.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, damn.
So if they get rid of the 4 out of 7 ready starts the timer, if they're getting rid of it.
Or then just the random ass person that left their game on and just left.
So I don't know what that. I don't know. They didn't really, like I said, there wasn't that many details, but I feel like that's either going to be a massive problem, worse than the lobby dodging, or it's like one of those things that once everybody's in the game,
it'll just start.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't even think about it from that.
But then you wouldn't be able to look at your loadout or anything or choose your character. So you'd have to ready it up unless you can't unready. So you ready if like 4 out of the 7 people ready up, then it just starts at like 5 seconds, but you can't unready.
But they said no timer.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, they're really vague. I know, but they also said they wanted thicker blood, but it's gonna be more thick, but less thick on consoles, and not as thick on consoles, but more thick overall. It's like
we want thicker and non-thicker.
Yeah. So I don't know what they mean half the time they say something, and then they're like, we can't figure out why Leatherface's chainsaw is stalling because we can't replicate it on our end. It's like, but anybody who plays Leatherface, it happens always. So it's like, are they playing a different build that they fixed it, but they forgot how they did it, that they didn't push to the public?
Wait, how do you get to Leatherface? All I'm seeing is Jason.
Yeah, they're playing Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Where
are they getting 3 family members from?
What are they talking about? I can see blood perfectly.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think the next patch is scheduled for like sometime next month.
Yeah. They said like I thought they said 90 days.
Well, that was for the new content. There's like the 150 plus fixes patch is scheduled for February at some point. I forgot what day specifically.
Yeah, I mean when that drops, I'm assuming that like we'll be able to go into further detail. We'll probably do something similar to this again.
The perk changes are in the February patch, like the nerf perks and like that. That's all going to be in the next patch. So that's
which we'll be able to figure that out, and we'll be like, also this is going to be our last one because we're done playing Texas Chainsaw.
I mean, what usually happens is it switches us off between family and victim, and then we're just family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see now that they're trying to take people away from victim, apparently, which doesn't make sense to me because you have 4 victim slots you're trying to fill and only 3 family slots you're trying to fill.
Yeah, I don't know. I think more people just match make victims specifically than they do family.
Yeah.
So that's probably what they're trying to change. But I wouldn't say gutting the popular perks. I get their idea of like, oh, if everybody's using this, then it needs, because that's how a lot of games nerf things. Like whatever the meta is, they nerf it to where it's no longer the meta. But the thing is, there's a meta. They're focusing on the meta for victims, but not the meta for family.
Yeah.
So they're changing the meta for victims, but they're leaving the family meta fine, like normal. So it's like, the victims are going to need to learn a new meta, but the family can keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which isn't exactly the way you balance a game like that.
Yeah.
Because Evil Dead, the game, had the same problem. They would change stuff on the survivor side without really doing much to the possessed, like the Deadite side. Because remember when the whole possessed basic unit thing started?
Yeah.
They would summon a basic unit and possess it, and you would be able to like instantly kill a survivor in the beginning of the match if you found them fast enough, because possessing a basic unit was stronger than just becoming the Deadite boss.
Yeah.
And it took them a while to actually adjust that. It was like that for such a long time, and they actually nerfed the survivors like 2 or 3 times during that time. They made it to where like the enemies could jump through windows instead of not being able to. So if you're getting chased by a possessed unit, they could chase you out the window.
Oh.
So it's like that had the same problem. Asymmetrical games just always do that. Like there was like the whole bully Jason pandemic on Friday the 13th where you just get a full team of Vanessas
And just beat the shit out of
and
them.
one male character to kill Jason. So like one of the Vanessas would intentionally get themselves killed to become Tommy, and then they would have another male character there to like stun him, like Bugsy or something like that. So it was just like a whole campaign to pick on Jason, and then they nerfed it to where when Jason was in rage mode, you couldn't stun him anymore, because he would build up stun faster the more you would stun him throughout the match. So if Vanessa's bullied him, he would get rage faster, and then
Jason, look at you.
Yeah, so there was like a whole thing. Asymmetrical games always flip back and forth. I think this is going to be the patch that flips it to family being a little bit stronger than they should be. And then the next patch is going to be like a little bit different, and then I don't think it'll ever find a middle ground specifically, but the metas are going to keep changing.
They don't ever really, it seems like most of the time they keep family the same. Like they don't really touch family that much in this game.
I mean, the biggest change was when they got rid of the Leatherface change, I guess, but they also the
community asked for that.
Yeah, the other thing with that is it's harder to kill people fast with Jason if you don't get, or with Leatherface if you don't get the one shot, because your chainsaw will bug and stall. That's an unintentional nerf.
Yeah. That was something that I did actually like, in the fact that they did the like no Leatherface, because no Leatherface was required, because you'd have people that come in there like. Yeah. Most of the time now, we have a Leatherface in the match regardless.
Yeah, the problem was people would have to be Leatherface when they didn't want to be.
Yeah,
and then they would
like,
quit. Yeah, I don't want to do this.
And they just quit. And so, one of the biggest things, the 2 biggest things to me are, number 1, the lobby's never starting.
Yeah.
Number 2 is there's no new players, because of the fact that there's no way for them to
nothing in this patch is going to bring new people in.
Yeah, and I feel like with asymmetrical games specifically, it's just something to where their community slowly just fizzle out.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight still is going strong. Like they have like 20,000 plus players almost every day somehow. I don't know. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Which I heard that game has a bunch of balancing issues still too.
I mean, I'm not a big. I haven't played Dead by Daylight.
I've seen a lot on it and stuff, but yeah, it doesn't look like the one I would play.
It's not gory enough for you.
No, there are takedowns. You just have to you have to hook them. You have to like incapacitate them and hook them, I think like 2 or 3 times before you get the kill. Because like you're like you hook them so that the people have a chance to be rescued.
Oh.
To, I guess, keep the gameplay loop going. Because every other asymmetrical game, once you die, you die. Yeah. But Dead by Daylight, they intentionally like keep you alive for a bit. So I don't know. Maybe they should do that. Maybe you should respawn in Texas Chainsaw back in the basement when you die. Yeah. And get another chance.
Yeah. Bleed out, technically.
Yeah. No, like they could do the same thing as Dead by Daylight. You go into bleed out, and then like Leatherface hooks you onto something, and then you can go and rescue them. But then the other 2 family members will just camp the person.
Yeah. So you can't rescue them.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference between Dead by Daylight, though. There's only one killer.
No, I mean, for the most part, though, I do think that the way it stands right now, Texas Chainsaw is pretty balanced. The only thing that isn't balanced is the family house.
Yeah,
Like that's the only time where you can really feel the fact that as a victim player,
yeah,
like
it's tough.
there's nothing that you can really do.
This circles back to the whole stealth thing. The only way to succeed in Family House is if you rush the hell out of it.
Yeah.
You rush someone out the window just to keep someone distracted,
Mhm.
and everybody else rushes somewhere else. If you
Yeah.
try to play stealthy on Family House, you're screwed.
You're dead.
You can't take time on that map because
Mhm.
it's over. It's easy to get the blood to feed Grandpa. It's easy to lock down 3 of the basement exits without moving much.
Yeah.
Like if you just stand in that back pantry where the back door is, you can cover 3 of the basement exits easily.
Yeah.
You can cover the ladder kitchen, the stairs that lead into the pantry, and you can cover the stairs that lead into the side yard, like family room area.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see someone through the wall gap come up through the center stairs in that position too. So you can pretty much see everything from one spot almost.
Yeah.
So it's just they want it to be a slower, stealthier game, but everything they've done to make the game and everything they're doing to balance it will constantly make it more, I got to get out of here as fast as I can.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they think they have that sentiment, like why they think that's a good idea when their game doesn't support that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And there's 3 family members.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's just...
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't make sense.
The way that it is, it's balanced for the other maps. The only one that really isn't is Family House.
Yeah.
To me. And like, yeah, that's the thing too, is on the other maps, yes, there's more chance to actually be stealthy because they have like bushes, they have all that stuff. You can't even get out of the family house to get into bushes.
Yeah,
like you can't be stealthy in Family House.
No, it's very hard to hide in the house. There's a few spots, but if you know where those spots are, just out of experience, they're easy to cover during your patrol.
Yeah.
So
there's like the side yard bushes.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't do anything from the side yard at all unless the pressure tank's in that area. But then again, you can't escape because the exit's outside.
Yeah, to me, the only way that they'd really be able to, like, make it, which they're not trying to. They love, like the developers have said before, they love the way a Family House is right now.
Yeah.
But if they ever did want to actually make it more balanced, they would add a way to get to the front yard from the side yard.
Yeah, like a gate or something.
Yeah. But you know how much that would change it? Because Cook would have to have, like, because he only has 3 locks. It'd be similar to something like Slaughterhouse, or like it would make it similar.
Well,
to the other
it
maps.
would be like the other maps where the families still have to like choose to add something out of their way to their patrol, like all the other maps. Family House is like, it's kind of a relaxing map as family.
Yeah,
you don't really have to worry too much about anything because everything's within close distance. Whereas on the other maps, you have most things close to you, but there's always that one thing that you need to check on.
Mm-hmm.
So like the victims have the chance to either go that way when you're not looking, or find a different way when you go to check that thing.
Yeah.
With Family House, you don't really have that option.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a chance you could get the front porch door that's on the left because it's kind of secluded, but again, it's easy to check that door within a relatively good amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's why most people just try to go for the fuse box.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that pretty much covers at least everything that they had on there.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else that you want?
I mean, I talked about some of the things that wasn't on that list already. Those were the major ones.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they had a pretty long time. We've had a pretty long talk on it.
Well, because ours was like discussing it.
Yeah,
and
fix by fix, pretty much.
And complaining about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we won't know the full effect of it until it actually is in the game. Because it might not be as bad as it seems. I feel like the no flight or choose flight perk, that nerf is gonna be definitely felt.
Yeah.
Especially like that. The biggest thing for that is like when you turn off the generator on Family House to run down the driveway, choose flight is what really gets you there.
Yeah.
Now without that, you're probably not gonna make it down that driveway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I didn't even think about it, that aspect of it. You're gonna have to invest all your characters into endurance builds now.
Well, even with like Sonny, I have him with full endurance. His first stamina bar runs out really quick still.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think that's everything that I had too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for coming and hanging out and listening to our thoughts on the newest upcoming Texas Chainsaw update and the new content that is going to be coming out as well. We're not going to see that for a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, just covering everything that was talked about in the community check-in, I guess. Yeah, we probably, I'm not sure how often we're going to do this, but I know at least this one, we specifically wanted to make it into a separate thing just because of how big it was and how much there was to actually cover in it. If Gun decides to keep going this way where there's dropping like big news items every like 2 months or something where they're covering all the fixes that they're going to be doing, we'll probably keep doing something similar like this. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. Also, let us know your thoughts. We have our own thoughts on this, but we'd love to hear what you guys think about the upcoming changes.
I just wish they'd add a carry weight.
Yeah, it's like, goddamn, these people. No, but yeah, just let us know if you're like family or victim, how you think that these are going to affect you guys. We'd love to go more into depth with it. I'm Ryan, Sly Spy Gaming. This is Nick, FLCLAFI, and we will see you next time. Yeah. Thanks, guys.